to the space, chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, you buy before you're good. Was taught to buy when it was boring, like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I'll always make the time in mind. I sit the one out, cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, got parabolic, they dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge to gain show. Sticking out this road cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. I'm sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go with the hate, let the haters be crappy. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. This game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.
Crypto has its ups and downs, but there is nowhere else that if you commit yourself to a 5-year timeline that you can make anywhere near as much and have as much potential with so little invested to make so much money. And crypto will likely create the first trillionaires, as well as a whole new wave of billionaires and also millionaires. So that really isn't a question, but what the question is whether each of us will be part of this history that is being made in the next 5 years. Today I want to share with you some hot crypto gems that I feel have some crazy upside ahead in the coming leg of the bull run. I also want to give you some updates on some crypto news. We're going to give away 125 Wanchain to one of our viewers, and it's going to be an action-packed day. Welcome to the Crypto Rainn channel. I'm your host, Jay Rainn, and if you like money in crypto and are looking for a real investor's take on the crypto market, join the Rainmaker family by liking this video and subscribing with that all notifications button enabled. Special note, you know this, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself, sharing with you how I think about the crypto market and specific cryptos I like. I do plan to own much of what I talk about on this channel on a daily basis. Of course, you kind of understand that because I don't talk about cryptos I don't believe in. That's why we never bring up meme coins. So join us, strap in for the show. Let's welcome our producer, D-Money, in the Crypto Rainn Command Center.
Hey, what up, Jay? How's it going, man?
Fantastic.
Sweet. We have a little bit of a dip going on. What's going on with that? Do we know?
Well, just normal, right? Actually, everyone was expecting a breakout today, and it went the opposite way, which, you know, they say the market takes the most amount of money from the most amount of people. So those who were leverage trading and went long today, expecting it to break out of this channel that we'll show in a minute, it broke back, you know, it stayed within the trend and broke downwards. So doesn't mean it won't break out this weekend or next week, but yeah, this is why we don't leverage trade.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, let's get the party started and
let's roll it.
Going.
Join me, Rainmakers. Well, thank you for helping grow this channel. Smash those likes. Now, if you're watching the live stream, you have to hit the little X, hit the like button, and then go back into the chat because we will be engaging you in the chat. In fact, we'll be talking about the Wanchain giveaway and how you can win that Wanchain today. So we do appreciate you helping us grow because we're building the most informed audience in crypto. Might not be the biggest, and that's okay. That's really not the goal. But if we nail the most informed audience in crypto, we should also become the wealthiest audience in crypto. So you're in exactly the right place. Let's share with you what's going on the Bitcoin charts because I want you to see. All right, I'm going to share my screen here. All right, so look at these trends, right? And so each time it broke out to the upside. And then it broke out here to the upside, and we're perfectly following another trend. And this is bullish. Generally, I see this breaking out when it does to the upside. But a lot of people see it came up and it retested and was even pushing this line. And so people were expecting it to break out and up today, and it did the opposite. And so we still have plenty of trend to continue here. They can continue all the way to like the 15th of December and still be in this trend. So my expectation is probably next week is probably when it will be happen, and this was just liquidating some people who were bullish with their longs. No big deal. Crypto, if I find that most of the people who make, in fact, the people that I know that have made millions, and a few of them in the tens of millions, have all held for longer time periods in crypto. And so they don't trade the day-to-day stuff. They take good positions and they hold them for longer periods of time. With that said, we're going to talk about 5, maybe even a bonus altcoin that I think are at very attractive prices. And some of these are longer term holds and some of these are shorter swings. So the first one we're going to talk about is XP Network. Now, XP Network is a Polkadot parachain where you're able to deploy NFT products and services to any supported blockchain, including Facebook's upcoming Diem. Though its pioneer application editor, XP Network, removes entry barriers for entrepreneurs, developers, and product makers, and the project allows all this cross-chain compatibility without a lot of coding. Now, we covered them months and months ago. Now, they're doing a big marketing push, as well as their price is in attractive price line. So what I like to do is I like to take basement level holds, even though sometimes it does break lower from there, but I actually really like where this chart is at. Unfortunately, on CoinGecko, we don't have all the drawing tools, but sometimes if I pull this up on TradingView, I'm just not going to get as much history. So I often pull up the charts on CoinGecko. Now, if we were able to see to the left of this, if I'm remembering right, the price actually came higher. So the pattern we're actually forming is this bigger double bottom, and where I don't think this floor is going to go as low as this side, and that we're going to hit a higher low in general here. And so I'm liking these prices right here, as well as I talked to the XP Network team this last week. They're doing a big marketing push that they'll be doing all through December, and that usually has some results. If you remember, about 2 months ago, I talked about Umbrella Network that was doing a similar marketing push. And Umbrella Network, I really like their story. In fact, quick update from them. They just made their Oracle work across some additional chains. And so we invested in them. Their chart looked very low like this, and we bought in, and it did tremendous. I made a bunch of gains. I know some of the audience members like my research, and they bought some too. And we all made some tremendous money. But they were also doing a marketing push because though they had a great product, a lot of people didn't know about them. And essentially they're a competitor to Chainlink that's faster. And so they did a marketing push, and it had some great results. Well, XP Network is doing a big marketing push. If you go to, one of the things I'd like to check out is what is their ICO price or IDO price. So it looks like that was 2 cents. Looks like pre-sale investors got it at 1 cent, and the private sale price was 1.5 cents. Seed investors got it for 0.75 cents. So then I kind of match up, okay, where are we price-wise? So from the IDO, we're about 2x from the IDO. Okay, that's fine, especially looking at this. It did go all the way down to 3 cents here, but I still like this price. And it's only, 2.5x from the IDO price. I like that range a lot, especially since it's been out for a number of months now. And with their marketing push, I think it'll be big. Now, one of the things I was checking out, they have something big coming in 18 days. I don't know what that is. They didn't tell me. But this big marketing push often has big effects. And let me see. I did have something that they did give me. I'm looking for it in my notes. Nope, I don't see. Oh, yes, their NFT marketplace is coming out, I think, tomorrow. So remember that they're going to have NFTs across all these different chains. So essentially, you can mint an NFT on their on their chain, and you can decide which of the different chains you want to mint it on, which is nice because then you can go to one place and you can mint NFTs on any of the different chains that you want. So their NFT marketplace is launching soon, and then they have like an alpha or beta coming out on there soon as well. All right, so their price is looking attractive. I like it. I don't know what the big announcement is, but on to pick number 2. And this is Spores. Now, if you remember Spores Network, also an NFT marketplace. They're also like VV. They're getting some good intellectual property licenses from some of the big brands in Asia. Now, I wish I had my fingers on the pulse better in Asia. I don't. But what I like about it, when I joined a meeting with the team, probably was about 4 months ago, was that they knew the Asian market really, really well. And one of the things I didn't know about the Asian market is that Asians spend 2 to 3 times as much per capita on video game items and NFTs. So makes sense that they're going where the money is, that they have the connections to nail that network. Now, I wish I knew more about it. So they're in that post-launch lull where the launch was really high. They actually, I wish CoinGecko showed this better, but they went all the way to like 10 cents. When I first covered it after they launched, it was only like 2 cents, went to 10 cents. So there were some amazing gains made there. And then it's been coming all the way back down to, it dipped under a penny. So these prices are good, and this trend is really slowing down. And so I'm loving where the price is. Their current market cap is at 3.8 million, at least according to CoinGecko. Now, some people get concerned about this number, and it's smart to look at this number. The circulating supply right now is 380 million. The total supply is 5 billion. So that means not even a tenth of their tokens are in supply yet. Am I concerned about that? That is more the norm in the last year and a half, in that a lot of projects, they create these long vestings for both the team and as well as their own ecosystem. They usually set some aside for their own ecosystem that's like 15 or 20% that vests over a period of 4 to 5 years. And then pre-sale investors usually have anywhere from a 6-month to a 12-month, sometimes a 24-month vesting. And so what it does is it pushes down the circulating supply and trickles in tokens over to that. Now that does create some sell pressure because a lot of VCs, when they get their tokens unlocked, what I've learned is they just turn around and sell them, and that creates some sell pressure. And that's part of the reason this price comes down like this to such attractive levels. See, the VCs, if they got their, like, say 5% out or 10% out, were able to sell it at 10 cents. They made all their money back, so any tokens they get from here are bonus. And sometimes VCs or VC members don't just hold on for the longer term and explore that potential upside that's probably going to be coming. And so personally, I love that they dump early because that creates some very good appreciation for me so that I can stock up and buy huge amounts at these lows, and then I can wait for the price to recover because that sell pressure is still pretty slight. It's just there's not a lot of volume going on here. So when they have some big news and we start to see their use case coming to fruition and other good things coming, a little bit of buy pressure outpaces that sell pressure, and that's when we see things really boom. So looking at their Twitter, you can follow them at Spores_Network for good updates, but their price is incredible. I suggest you take a look at it. See if you like what you see. Another one that's big, and LegendsOfCrypto game. Now, I covered this months and months and months ago, and it's not as cheap as it was, and that's okay. But look how cheap it got there. I'm liking this uptrend here, and they're leading to some big events. So they do have a beta release coming out this weekend where they'll be able to have their marketplace as well. They also have some Genesis NFTs for sale coming out tomorrow. So something to take a look at. Now, will this game go down in history as a collectible that everyone wants to have? Possibly. They do have some cards that have some of the celebrities in crypto. And they've done a good job. Like, the team behind this knows a lot of the big personalities in crypto, and they have a lot of connections. So one of the reasons I followed this and been interested in it is Blizzard is helping design their game mechanics of how the game mechanics work, as well as they know some of the right people. So I guess I've been looking for those collectible NFTs that actually have some function and that you can use them for a card game that possibly will be total collector's items in the future. And I don't know if this will hit it. Nobody does, but they do have the right recipe that it could. And so that's why I followed this, not only the token and the token price, but also the collectibles. So check them out. They have some good things coming out. Their alpha game launches December 12th. All right. Also, for us to look at today is Wanchain. Now, Wanchain is the sponsor in this channel, and maybe I'm highly biased because of this, but I bought Wanchain since the price was really, really cheap in the bottom of the bear market, because it was the hottest ICO in 2017. It did tremendous numbers. Even after almost everything had crashed, it went to almost $10. And so when it was this cheap, I loved it, and it's still really cheap in my opinion. In fact, I just covered this to our private Patreon group. So if you want to join the Patreon, you do get special access to some of the things that I really like. And I shared with them this nice rounded bottom here in the charts. This often leads to really, really good things. And what this shows in a general picture is that the sell pressure is much, much lower than the buy pressure, and it creates this rounded bottom. And DeFi had a big pump in the narrative in March and April and May, and that's what you see this is going up tremendously because it's solidly in the DeFi narrative. And so I just feel like it's got so much of an upside from here, and it's done these little breakouts, and then some sell pressure has taken it right back to this trend line, but at some point this often goes absolutely crazy. Now, I'll talk about the giveaway for this in a little bit, but some news related to them. Well, when I do the giveaway, I'm going to give you some bigger news, and I'm going to show you more about how Wanchain works, so you have a better feel for the fundamentals behind it. All right,
Jay. So what are they getting? Like to get the live or to get the giveaway, they need to be on the live stream today, right?
They do.
Okay, so
Yes.
and it's coming later a little bit.
Yeah, and you want to have the chat set up and everything, because the first person who's going to give us the correct answer wins the Wanchain giveaway today. So I will be asking a question related to Wanchain, and the first person with the right answer wins. All right, so on to our next pick on extremely attractive prices. Now, Formation Finance is, if you think about it, it does run kind of like DeFi yield farming. If you think of DeFi yield farming and mutual funds having a baby, that would kind of give you an idea of what Formation Finance is. It allows you to select sectors of crypto as well as risk tolerance. We've covered this since before it launched, but it got expensive right away. What was the IDO price? I think was around 2 cents. And I was saying under 10 cents it was extremely attractive, but it never hit that. It went to like 15 cents and then took off to 20 cents. And oftentimes even CoinGecko doesn't show the early days. And then it went all the way up to 40 cents. But probably some pre-sale token unlocks, as well as there was a hack. This happens to about every project in DeFi. It's called a flash loan attack. And what they do is they structure a transaction in such a way, complicated programming, so that there is this thing called impermanent loss. And they structure it in such a way that this flash loan attack allows them to extract some liquidity that's created by impermanent loss. And so some geniuses came up with this idea, and they've hacked about every project in DeFi. I guess about 200,000 was extracted, and people freak out in panic, which is, we're thankful that they do, because formation was way at 17 cents and showing some signs that it might turn around, and since then has gotten even cheaper. And I don't know about you, but I like to buy cheap. I don't like to chase into green candles. I like it cheap. And so formation, back when it launched, I said under 10 cents, I feel like it's a really strong deal. It's finally hit that. Maybe even gets a little bit cheaper, but at 8 cents, I had to cover it today. Now, I realize I'm covering some here. That doesn't mean these are the only deals out there. There are a lot of deals out there. These were some of the ones. And I tend to like these altcoin deals because when they go well, they can go so much better than Bitcoin. Because when Bitcoin's trading at, let's see where it is today. Where can Bitcoin go from here? 55,000. If we're lucky, it breaks 200,000. If we're lucky, that's about a 4x from here. Some of these altcoins can go so much higher from here, so pay attention to them. Like the market cap, we don't even know what Formation's market cap is. 1 billion total tokens. So it's probably that. If I'm doing the math right, that would mean a fully diluted market value of like 80 million from here, which probably about 20% of their tokens in supply. So we're looking at like $16 million market cap. If it went to like 1.6 billion, that's 100x from here. If it only hit half of that, that's still a 50x from here. In Bitcoin, there's no way it does 50x from here. One of the other things I like about Formation is that you can come to their website, formation.finance, and you can click on launch, and you can actually connect up your wallet, and you can stake it for a 70% APR. So I have mine staked. Now, unfortunately, I bought it on the Ethereum chain rather than the Binance Smart Chain. You can now get it on PancakeSwap. And so when you stake it, you can claim for very cheap. Because every time I claim on the Ethereum network, it costs me like $120. But I do have like $50,000 of formation locked up in this. And so, like, at least when I claim it, I'm claiming $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 worth of value at a time. But still, you know, Ethereum just burns through those fees like that. And so if it were me, Binance Smart Chain, if I like this and this was where I was buying it, Binance Smart Chain is where I'd be looking through PancakeSwap, because it saves you so much money on claiming those juicy APYs. Because my favorite thing to buy is something that I think has good long-term perspective, that I can also make passive income on it in the meantime. So I'm going to throw in a bonus token that I really love the price, and that is ShopX. Now, ShopX is solidly in the Polkadot narrative. In fact, they're going to be a competitor to Shopify. So there'll be a decentralized version of Shopify where people that run their own shops can keep more of their own money. Now, Shopify takes so much of the money, it makes sense for a decentralized competitor to come in and really be able to take a lot of market share. Like one of the ones I've covered, Drive, that I really like. The only reason that there's an opening for Drive to do well, and they're in the rideshare market compared to Uber and Lyft, is because Uber and Lyft are taking so much of the money, the drivers aren't making very much. And so Drive is able to save the end user some money as well as make the driver more money. Well, essentially, Split is looking to do that for as compared to Shopify, so the shop owners can make more money and the end users can save more money. So I'd like their use case, but like I said before, I'm an investor. I like to buy cheap. It's cheap again. Now, it took this big spike up, and I was like, oh no, I don't have as much as I would love. Now, I have been stocking up on them over the past while because they've been cheap for a while, but I did double my position in them just yesterday, and I'm going to increase it even further. So they were so they spiked all the way up to 26 cents, and I was like, dang it. So they have come back down, and I made another big purchase. Now, where's the market cap at? Let's see if it gives us the number, huh? 10 million.
10 million, it looks like.
Now, do look that only, what's that, not even 20% of their tokens are in circulation. That's okay. Like I shared with you, that's a lot how the companies structure their tokenomics. So probably there's still some pre-sale unlocks going on there. I was able to get into the IDO. I think I was able to buy $300 in the IDO through Paid's Ignition Launchpad. And it went to like, maybe it's $250, went to like 17,000, and I didn't sell it, and then it came all the way back down. But I just used that down turn to stock up a lot more, because I think this one has a lot of potential, but they're still in the early days. They only launched like 5-6 months ago. In fact, longer than that. It was like March when they launched. April is when they're tracking here, but they launched prior to that, and the tokens went all the way up to there. So even if they launch in March, they're really still a relatively new project. It's going to be 3 or 4 years before their use case really starts to come into effect. But I think as the market hits another leg of the bull run, that's where the massive money is made, and then I'm going to be taking profits out. When it starts going absolutely crazy, I'll be taking profits out, putting them into stable coins on the side, earning me some good interest rates there. All right, I want to share with you some stuff on Wanchain, and then I will give you the details for how to win. And you might have to do some research. Maybe one of you has been following Wanchain and will know the answer to this and can win it very quickly. But before I tell you what we're looking at, let me share you some information on what Wanchain just announced, actually, as I pulled up their Twitter today. So passing through a layer 1 blockchain when moving from one layer 2 to another completely undermines the improved scalability promised by layer 2 solutions. Wanchain is building layer 2 to layer 2 bridges that solve this problem. In fact, how do I go back to this? So this was like the perfect drawing here. So these are layer 1s talking to each other, right? And there's layer 2s on top of them. So what they're doing is they're just connecting up these layer 2s and cutting out the layer 1s to save all kinds of transaction fees. Right. So are you ready for the question? I'm going to go ahead and give you the question, and then some of you might have to research. Maybe you already know it. Let me pull it up. Okay. What chains has Wanchain bridged to so far? And so the total number of these is, let me see, is it?
I think it's 9.
9. So the first person, you have to list all of them within your one answer. First person that gets all of them. So there are 9, and tell us what chains they've already bridged to. All right, so I know many of you are pulling up and adding those up and putting that in there. Let me share with you some more Wanchain news. So this is Wanchain's bridge, and I wanted to share with you how cool this is. So let's say you have an asset like Bitcoin, and you wanted to bridge it from Bitcoin's network to, say, Moon River. Now, Moon River is on top of Kusama. So they literally already have a bridge to the Kusama network through Moon River. So you can send Bitcoin already over to Moon River because of Wanchain's bridge. So how you would do that is you have to connect your wallet, and then you would put your recipient address. And let's just say we're going to send it to my own MetaMask wallet on this. And so I'm going to put in my address here, and then I want to send 2 Bitcoin there. So what they would do is, okay, yeah, I want to send, and it would charge us this tiny little fee. And then it gives me the one-time address for me to send it to. So if I send to this one-time address, it's then going to take the Bitcoin, wrap it, and send it all the way over to Moon River's network, all because of this one bridge. So you can also do easier ones. I wanted to show you a hard one, but you can send from, say you want to bridge, let's pick one of these. What's been really hot? You could do wrapped ETH as well, and you want, say you have it on Ethereum, you want to send it over to Wanchain. You can do that. So then you just connect up to Wanchain's network, which you can do through here. So, first I need to be on Ethereum. So I'd go from Ethereum, and then I would put the address that I want to send it to, which is just my address. And then I want to send, like, say 5 ETH. Alright, and I can bridge it from ETH to Wanchain, and this bridge will take it between all these different chains. These are all the different assets that it can send, etc. So how are we doing in chat, D? Are you seeing any?
We've got like 5 answers right now. If you count someone who said tomato is the answer, I don't think that's the answer. I haven't seen the correct answer yet, though. So some people are close.
Perfect. How I actually use Wanchain all the time is through OneSwap and Zookeeper. So now I actually use it on a different browser, but I've shared this with you before. I have some videos on Zookeeper that go into depth of how to use this, because I believe in having assets that I think will do well appreciation wise, that also will have some big increases in value, right? That as well you can make some passive income on them. So one of the yield farming that I do on Wanchain is when I first moved Wanchain over to Zookeeper, you have to bring it to OneSwap.finance. Now they did set up OneSwap.finance so that it can actually talk to your MetaMask, and it can then update the Wanchain network information into your MetaMask right away. Now when I got started, they didn't have that. You had to download WanMask, which was essentially a clone of MetaMask. And so everything I do, I run through my WanMask. But if they had, I would have just made it run through my MetaMask. So I sent Wan to my wallet. And then once I received it, I came over to OneSwap and I put half of what I had. So essentially this, and say I only had 376, I would move over like 184 of that to WASP. And the reason I'm doing this is because the different farming things that you can do, if you notice it, this particular one is Wanchain and WASP, and you have to have 50 and 50. So transaction executed already. Now it's just updating here. And then I come to pool, and I'm going to add liquidity between Wanchain and WASP. And so that's going to put 184 of my Wan. I leave some in there for gas. And this WASP that I just got, and I'm going to supply that liquidity here. Now, there's a more in-depth walkthrough on how to do this. So I know I'm blowing through this pretty fast while we're waiting for someone to get the right answer. And if you don't have the right answer yet, we will move on to some great news that our resident researcher and fantastic admin, Stardust Runner, has for us, and some good items. So,
hey Jay, a question came in regarding John Walsh asks, how cheap is Wanchain when sending ETH? Is it any cheaper than anywhere else?
Yeah, Wanchain itself, when you're sending it, is ridiculously cheap. It's like 1/10 of a penny. Now, when you're bridging from ETH to Wanchain for that first time to bridge ETH in, you're going to pay an ETH transaction fee. And so that might cost you $20 to $80 depending on how congested the ETH network is. But once you get it into Wanchain, it's really cheap. So what a lot of people do is, if they have it in a centralized exchange like KuCoin or Binance that has Wanchain on it, is you just make the trade to USDT within the centralized exchange, buy Wanchain and bring it in, or you use that bridge I just shared with you, and you can bridge funds into there, and then you can use OneSwap to be able to swap everything. So once you get ETH, you can bring in DOT, you can bring in Doge. Once you get it in here, it's really cheap to swap between different assets. So one DOT, one Doge, one Bitcoin. They also have ETH in here and other things. There's one ETH. So these are essentially wrapped ETH or wrapped Chainlink, wrapped Litecoin, etc. For those of you that are still trying to come up with the answer, I'm going to give you some of the harder ones. So obviously, we actually talked about Moon River. So Moon River, Kusama, that's the same network, but that's one of the 9. I'll give you another hard one. They already bridged to Avalanche, so AVAX is one as well.
Yeah, people are getting close, and you may want to scan through the comments a little bit here.
Let me pull it up. I don't have it open. Today was a rush to get everything ready. Okay, let me make sure I have muted. There we go. Let's see. Jill says Bitcoin is ETH, Wanchain, Litecoin, Binance Smart Chain, XRP. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are they on
6, 7?
Are they on Doge?
No.
A lot of people are saying.
No,
and
they do have Doge in there, but
that's one that I keep seeing that, as far as I know, is not correct.
So they're so close. Jill is so close. She's just missing some, or I don't know from the name. Bearish Bull, Ethereum, EOS, Binance, Smart Chain. That's one people are. Yeah, it is correct. Binance Smart Chain.
Yep.
AVAX, Moonriver, Litecoin, Polkadot. Yeah, that's where they're missing it. And Phantom isn't one of the answers.
Right.
I love it.
We're getting close on
so
some.
close. Phantom is not one of the correct answers. That doesn't mean it won't be ready soon.
Let's hop into the news and see if we can...
Let's do it. If you do notice, I did have this update a little bit, and I know I covered this just the other day, and it was showing this total value here. See where it says $109,000? That's $109,000 I have locked up in this now. It wasn't $109,000 when I started doing this back in January, February. It's just grown tremendously, both as Wanchain has appreciated some since back then, but as well as some returns that I've kept in here. So $109,000 here. Now, it was saying $100,000, and the reason is when Wanchain's price went up, WASP's token price usually goes up too, and so the total it's showing here is getting higher. So as Wanchain appreciates, this number goes up tremendously, as well as this number has gone up too, because that was just 9,000 the other day. Now I have put in a bunch more as I harvest some. I usually put it more in this one right now, but there are a bunch of active pools out there. Those are just the ones I'm staked in. All right, let's jump over to the news. Let's see. I want to minimize this. I had this one we wanted to talk about. Now, one of the projects we're really bullish on is Drive, and we like to buy cheap. And so a lot of the community members have asked me, wow, it's really cheap right now. Is it a good buy? And I said, I don't know for certain what's happening in India. I don't have my fingers on the pulse of the India politics as much as I wish I did. So if their ban on crypto was successful, that would be it would slow down Drive. It wouldn't crush them because they have things going on outside of India, but it would slow it down. But India's cabinet note indicates no crypto ban. Government will regulate crypto assets. That's totally fine. That I don't see that negatively impacting Drive at all. So that's good news. That actually means that, they're not going to disallow trading, and so Drive's token should be fine. So it's probably still cheap. I can't tell you what to buy. I'm just an investor. I do own a boatload of Drive because I'm a big believer in what they're going to do. And so I will be selling it when the market goes parabolic. I did take a little bit of profits. I think I missed the top, but look at this rounded bottom, and I think overall we're seeing a bigger W pattern. Now it doesn't show the far left side. I think when it launched, the price was much, much higher and came down all the way to these prices. So I don't think this is going to get as cheap as it had been when we were saying, man, it's so dirt cheap, it's amazing. But it's still relatively cheap after recently hitting 10 cents. So you're getting it essentially on a 75% discount. So decide whether it's right for you and your portfolio and the time frame. For me, I'm looking for when the market goes parabolic to take massive profits. Though if it takes another pump to 10 cents again, why not take your initial out and have a free ride, right? Makes sense to me.
Jay, I think that we have a correct answer. Will you take a look at Nick's answer?
Will you highlight it?
I will.
Let's take a look. Nick, he might be our winner. Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, XRP, Litecoin, Moon River, Avalanche, and Polkadot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nick wins it. Now, Nick, before we lose you, we need your Telegram address, because once the live stream is no longer live, we can't see what you had posted in here. So, Nick, if you would give us your Telegram address, we'll work it out through Telegram to get your Wanchain address. So make sure D-Money gets that before the live stream ends. Let's jump over. Congratulations, Nick. Woo!
Yeah, we need to...
So what is 125?
Yeah. Poor Chris Ashby, by the way. I think he said, whoops, said Bitcoin twice. He commented, like, just barely after Nick.
Shoot.
So.
Chris, good job. You won last week's.
Nick.
Chris won last week's giveaway. Nick won this week's. So Chris almost won twice in a row, which is totally fair. Hey, this is a meritocracy here. So, that's awesome. Nick, great work on that. 125 Wanchain, what's that worth today? That's worth roughly $110. What's it worth 6 months from now is the better question. Now, the reason I hold so much in Wanchain is because personally I think it's going to do a lot better from here. So I'm not looking at today's value near as much as what it could go to. And before it was at $10. So can it hit $10 again this bull run? I don't understand why it wouldn't hit at least that, if not 5x that, and maybe if we're lucky, even higher than that. Let's take a look at some other news that's big. And D, I know you saw this article. What do you think of this?
Yeah. So for starters, Adidas last week, they tweeted out, I think they said something about partnering with freaking Coinbase, right? And it was just like partnering with Coinbase, probably nothing, right? They said something like that. So now they just bought a Bored Ape, and they have purchased some land in Sandbox, from what I understand. So yeah, Adidas is a huge brand, and they just are stepping more and more into the metaverse, it sounds like.
Yep, and they're not early, but they're not late. So welcome, Adidas. Yes, this world that we've been in for a while, you're not early, but you aren't late either. So congratulations for coming in. Man, Bored Ape. I wish I had bought one of those. Yeah. Dr. Stuff made me aware of them when they were about 2 ETH. And he had a chance to buy it when they minted at 0.08, and he made a different decision.
Shoot. Yeah, so, hey, I just want to address real quick. So TA said I had the same answer. The reason why is TA scrolling up. He replied with 11 added Dogecoin and Phantom. So
first one.
Although he had the correct 9 in there, there were a couple too many in there that weren't there.
Yep. Good call. Sorry, TA, you had to have the right 9 with no added extra ones. Otherwise, somebody could just put in 30, right? All right. So Tinder.
Yeah, the Tinderverse is coming.
This is awesome. Funny story, I met my wife through Tinder. Can you believe it? Some of you have seen her. She's freaking gorgeous. Anyway, funny story, I'll share another time. But Tinder actually doesn't work in a lot of places. Some places it works great. Just great place to get to know people. This is really interesting, the Tinder metaverse. I'm no longer single, so I don't have my fingers on the pulse of the single market. I've been off that market now for almost 5 years. But that's really interesting. Smart place for them to be. I mean, Tinder kind of revolutionized getting to know people. And it works really well in larger cities, in many larger cities, for getting to know people. But interesting news item piece. What were your thoughts on this? Now, I know you've been married to the same woman for a few years now.
Yeah, something 17 or something like that. Yeah, so it's not exactly, not. But the thought overall is just that, it's such a hot topic right now, and think about Facebook, right? Microsoft we've covered. I mean, of the dating apps that exist, there's nothing bigger than Tinder, and and it's just the direction that everything is moving now, and I do think that it's cool, right? I mean, it's going to allow people to interact on, it's a digital level, but again, I mean, it's what I think about when I think about like Ready Player One, right? It's like, meeting up and whoever, there's Artemis is the girl, I can't remember, Wade and Artemis, like they meet in the metaverse and they fall in love, right, through their avatars. Like this is, it's just another sign pointing us to the future.
It's a great way to get to know people without the risk of meeting up, and it's a great way to get to know somebody long distance, right? I actually was traveling for business when I met my wife, and we matched on Tinder. Actually, a friend of mine totally canceled on me, and he's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. I was like, man, what the heck? And he's like, just get on Tinder, find yourself a date. It'll be worthwhile. I was like, Tinder, oh yeah, I do have that app. Let me jump on there. And I matched with a number of people, but one of them was strikingly beautiful, and I was like, yeah, I'm just tired of dating beautiful women at the age of 40. They're like, usually, I know this is generalized, it's not completely true, but just kind of boring, or just, have learned to downplay their intelligence to seem, because some guys are intimidated by intelligent women, and personally I like intelligent women. So I almost swiped left on her, and then I almost didn't reach out to her even when we did match, because I was just tired of that. The truth is I like intelligent women who are fun and stuff, and I wasn't finding a lot of beautiful women in 40s that were that way. So good thing I did reach out to her. Worked out. She was really intelligent, smart, business savvy, and fun, and happened to be beautiful, which was a nice plus. Great job, Tinder. Love you. Wanted to bring up, I did make some purchases of some NFTs. I'm not big on buying the profile pic in general ones. These are the first profile pic ones on Devio. And Devio hasn't hit a lot of traction outside this channel. Some other channels started covering them, and they have big things coming. So a lot of times on this channel we cover things before they're big. And so I don't know if this will be huge, but Jamie he actually works with Devio, and I met him through some of the Devio calls because I'm an advisor on their Lit Craft game. And so on those calls, I heard of his NFTs, and he was the first person to launch some of profile pic NFTs on the Devio blockchain. And when I went to the site, I was just struck by how amazingly gorgeous they are. I mean, you can see these other ones are gorgeous too, but I just absolutely love these, and I couldn't get them off my mind. And so you can buy them with all different ways. You can actually buy them with crypto, fiat, PayPal, etc. And there won't be a reveal as to which ones you get until January, I believe. But they were just so amazing. I just found them amazing. I had to buy some, and I bought like 8 of them. So, and I might buy more. Now, they also have some cool ones that are quite a bit more expensive. These ones aren't too bad. These are actually very beautiful too, and they're 0.15 ETH. And as they sell out, so they have 3,700 left of the 5,000. I think there's a total of 15,000. The price goes up on the next tranche to 0.2 ETH. And yeah, some of these I absolutely love, and some aren't quite my style. The profile pics ones I love because even I have favorites out of these, but I love any one of them. And then they have some ones with the dogs. Where am I doing it? There we go. Now these ones are kind of expensive, but they are really, really, really cool. So I think these ones are selling for 0.8 ETH, which, ouch. But there are a lot fewer of these. Yeah, and it looks like they've already sold, 113 of them. So could end up being really big. I don't know if Devio's blockchain gets really, really big. I mean, these being some of the first NFTs launched on our blockchain could be huge. Yeah, Doctor of Stuff, Devio has massive potential. It does. They can do 8 million transactions per second. I didn't say that wrong. Everyone's talking about, and I know we talked about this last live stream, but Solana's blockchain can do between 35,000 to 55,000 transactions per second. Devio can do 8 million transactions per second. They haven't done any marketing. They've actually done some business with Fortune 100 companies, developing some solutions for them. They haven't launched publicly their DevX token yet. That's coming soon. They are also behind the Litcraft game, and so they're running all the transactions on that game on their own blockchain. And it can handle 8 million transactions per second for like a different, and they can set up different nodes to handle different games. So it's not like it's really going to get blocked down. It is more centralized than some things. So it's centralized very much like, Algorand is somewhat centralized, but the other big one, Hedera Hashgraph, centralized like Hedera Hashgraph is. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of them. I'm invested in Devio as a company. Way back earlier this year when I met the team and really wrapped my mind around how in the world could it do 8 million transactions per second and no one else could do that. Yeah, I invested in the company. Made perfect sense to me. Me and some of my friends did. So, own a small, tiny piece.
Hey, Jay, we are up at 50 minutes. Do you want to take any questions today?
I would love to take some questions. I would love to get a feel for what everyone is saying in chat. So, anyone know public sale of DevX or Quint? I don't know that Quint is going to have a public sale, but you can, if you go to their Telegram for Devio, and let me get their Telegram, and I'm going to post it in the chat so that everyone can see it. View group info. I'm going to post in the chat, and maybe it will leave it up because it's a link. Maybe it'll take it down even if it's me. That's their Telegram. And you can go there. Actually, Tom, the CEO, actually takes the time to be in that chat, but also some other people from the team, admins like Noel. And so you can get information feel free to ask your questions there. You get way more actual dev team support in their Telegram than any company I've ever seen. So that won't always be the case. I mean, they're getting so busy, like they won't be able to, but they've made that a focus to be able to interact with people because they haven't done any marketing yet. They've done a lot of business deals. They're talking to very big companies. There's some big things that I think are going to come out of this. But Devio, or the DevX token, I think is the name of their token. That'll be out and tradable somewhat soon, maybe in a month. And also they're doing a token sale of Quint, which is their token for the Litcraft universe or metaverse that they're creating. So think of Harry Potter and think of all the lore around Harry Potter and think of that for Litcraft. It's its own metaverse within this magical world that they have. And so Litcraft Experience is just the first one of their games. And the full public release of Litcraft Experience will be out this January that you'll be able to play. It's already in beta. It's working very well. They'll have it actually should be ready to go live in January. All right, let me see what else we have in the comments.
Jay, John Walsh asked earlier about what do you think of My Master War. He did give a little more info. Loving this play to earn game. Excellent gameplay. Also, the designer of XS on its advisory board. Low market cap, lots of potential. It's MAT. My Master War, the second one.
See, there's so many coming out. I'm having a hard time. And so I'm missing lots of them. And that's not a bad thing necessarily about the project. Okay, so their price is more attractive than it's been at other points. Circulating supply is 6 million tokens, so 6% of their total supply. And let's take a look. They're on Binance Smart Chain. Smart. Yeah, for heaven's sake, please, project, stay off of Ethereum's chain for now. I know that, please, do us all a favor. Okay, DeFi, NFT, free-to-play, profit sharing. Yeah.
Art looks cool.
It does, right? And it's got a video. I don't know if the sound is connected up, and sometimes they punish us when we watch somebody else's thing. It like, oh, you're...
Yeah, I'll keep the sound off because that's a lot of the time how they'll track it.
Looks interesting, actually. So there will be a lot of smaller games that will, I think, make some good returns in the coming 6 months. Which ones are going to be around a couple of years from now will probably only be a few of the ones that are ready soon. Obviously, personally, I hope Litcraft does really well in that, but there will be a number of ones. There was Thetan Heroes or something. What was it? Thetan. It launched, and it's playable, and you can download it from your phone. And Thetan Arena.
Yeah, THG.
That one's pretty cool. One of the downsides, though, I couldn't figure out once I started it how to close out of it. So maybe that's like a feature and not a bug. They're like, yes, people will never be able to leave our game because you can't close it. I literally had to shut down my phone in order to get out of the screen. So hope they fix that, or maybe they purposely did that. But seems pretty cool, and it's playable. And so you only earn money if you have some skins, and I didn't buy some of those skins. I wanted to see about the gameplay. So these are pretty simple. They've actually kind of taken existing successful small mobile games and then essentially did a crypto version of them, which is a very fast way to get to market. Very smart. Litcraft will be ready for market because they've been working on the game, at least Litcraft and Experience. They've been working on it for 3 to 4 years. They actually were using it to test the Devio blockchain while they were working out Devio's blockchain to work with API calls, because that's a programming language that you use to interact with Devio's blockchain is API calls, which every programmer, about 80 to 90% of them, are able to use that. That's one of the reasons I'm so bullish on their blockchain. They don't have to learn a language like Solidity or some other language. They can interact with the database just through simple API calls. So they tested Litcraft using, or Devio's blockchain using Litcraft, and they've been developing it for 3 years. So it happens to be coming onto market as soon as January, which is a really good time. And it's way, way, way more in depth than most any of the games that you'll find on crypto. Now, smart that they're taking existing games and building on them. In fact, there's a lot of them coming, and some of those will do exceptionally well. I'm a big fan of Legends. What is it? League
League of Ancients.
League of Ancients, LOA. I think that one's going to be really big. That's along the lines of Dota, which is one of the games that I do play, Dota 2. As well as Devio themselves are kind of doing this model, but with AAA games, that they're going to work out some deals with AAA games to bring them into the blockchain and on Devio's blockchain. But essentially, because the way they set up their programming and language and everything, they could bring a AAA game or a version of the AAA game into their Litcraft metaverse and have it playable within like 4 to 6 months. So I do think there'll be some of the first AAA games available in crypto, because I mean there's some ones like Star Atlas and Illuvium that both of those look amazing, but that's going to take 2 to 5 years.
Hey Jay, so we're up against it. Ronald asks about Hero and XPR. I know that you and Paul covered XPR yesterday.
Yeah, we check out the video from yesterday on XPR. We go into that,
and there are chapters set up on that video, and so you can find it pretty quick. But watch the whole thing. Those videos are priceless, really.
Yeah, Rocio says, have Umbrella bump in Spores on Ethereum and have to make calls now to position myself so I'm not paying $100 to $1,000 in transaction costs to later move those tokens. I totally agree with you. If you move them at like off hours and say they're on gate.io and you're able to move them over there, sometimes you are. That's usually one of the first place. Some of the smaller ones are tradable. Then you can trade them when it's convenient to sell them without the high transaction costs. Just a pro tip. All right, I do thank all of you for joining us. If you're ready to level up your crypto game and haven't subscribed, join us. Now, we're never going to be the biggest channel. We're not going to. We're trying to be like the Navy SEALs of crypto and have the most informed audience. We feel like, in general, that'll lead to the wealthiest audience per capita. And so don't feel embarrassed if you're new and you're in a poor country and you don't have a lot to invest. What we want here is we want people who are willing to learn and grow, because we talk about the principles of investing, and I didn't invent these. These came from people smarter than me that I just learned and absorbed these like a sponge. First for real estate and stock investing, but these apply in crypto investing. And so I share with you the principles. You get to make your own decisions as to what cryptos you're buying, but I share with you the principles that help you make more informed decisions on what to buy. And it generally leads to way better results than we would normally have in crypto. So thanks for joining us, and congratulations to our winner of the Wanchain, and we will see you all next time.
Came into the space chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, buy before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. Buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I sit the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I'll sell when it's high, I'll buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling the parabolic, they dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning